So, welcome back to another day of working on your children's vest. I hope everybody's had a good day. Um, I did a really okay day. Weather's kind of gloomy. When weather like this is kicking off, it's a good time to start sewing. How's everybody doing today? Turn that off. I'm blind. Is everybody doing good so far today? Alrighty. So, if you guys didn't get to finish sewing your seaweed patterns on from the previous night, that's okay. Because I actually will show you kind of a little like process of how it should start and how it like beginning, middle, done. So I'll turn the camera over and we can look and see how our seaweed patterns look. So aim tight. Okay, so we have our seaweed patterns, right? So let's just put our back right here. So initially, this is how we started, right? We ironed it on, and then if you look over, I did this, I call it the side stitch, but you can see this all right here is going to be covered. So that's okay. Like, try not to stress about it. If you have little loops or you're scared it doesn't look even, that's okay. Your stitch work right here is going to be covered. So this is like the end product of how it should look. Now, if you look and see, my stitching isn't all the way perfect, but that's okay because if you're going to put beads on there, if you're going to bead around it, the seaweed, nobody's really going to be like up close and inspecting your work. So that's okay. Now, I'm on the second seaweed. Now look, this is the side where we haven't stitched, right? And then here's the side of how it should look. See that? How amazing is that? So, I always double thread my sewing needle just because I like to have that extra sturdiness. Like I said, it's completely your choice on what you want to do. So if you want to just use one thread and not double thread it, that's okay too. So just because I am a fruitcake, I like to double thread it. It adds a little bit more sturdiness to it, so it won't fall, like it won't come off easy. So this is where I'm at right now. So I'll show you how I've been stitching, and we'll see if I can adjust this camera. So we're going to straighten out our thread, and we're kind of go right here. I kind of go off to the edge a little bit, not too far off. I'm going to go in. I'm going to kind of bring it around a little bit. I'm not going to tug hard. And then I'm just going to go right here. I'm going to kind of come at an angle, if you can see that. Go at an angle, go down. And then I usually take my thumb and I'll grab it and I'll pull it through. Like this. Voila. Stitched. Does anybody have any questions or comments, concerns? Anything they'd like to share?
Could you do it a couple more times the way that you're hand sewing it, and maybe see if we could get it to focus just a little bit more? It's just a little blurry. Maybe it's just me.
Okay, let's see if I can.
I don't know if you can hear me. Sometimes when I have my phone like this, it's hard to hear me. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you for letting me know that. Okay, so okay, so we zoomed in. You know, working with Zoom is kind of difficult, but I think I'm getting the hang of it. So we're gonna go in, and now I'm not gonna go off to the side that far. If you see, let me get it a little bit closer actually. Like right there.
Oh yeah, it's really showing up now. Okay. I see all the stitches and everything.
So then we're gonna pull through. We're not gonna tug hard, but I like to bring mine off to the side. Take my thread, kind of bring my needle at an angle. You can see at an angle a little bit. And then I'm gonna push her down. I'm gonna take my thread, I'm gonna put my finger. And then pull. I'm gonna apologize in advance. My nails kind of broke. So, and I haven't had time to like trim them up or anything. So I'm just gonna apologize in advance. And so again, I'm just gonna, it's like a repeated process. And look, ooh, see, now this happens to me quite a bit just because it's two. So if you're doing with two, and like I said, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about it because nobody's gonna see it. But for me, just because I'm that extra when I sew, I always like to make sure they're nice and crisp looking. Does that make sense? Okay. Again, it's a repeated process. And like I said, you don't have to make them like absolutely perfect. Just kind of do the best you can and yeah, have fun with it. So again, we're just gonna do that.
Do you have an example of one that's done on the sewing machine?
I do not have one that is done on the sewing machine. And here's the thing about the sewing machine. So let's kind of like exit out a little bit. If you do this on the sewing machine and you do that really fast, kind of like scrunched together zigzag look on your seaweed designs, it would be hard if you wanted to bead around it because you're gonna have all this thread kind of bunched up. And if you hand stitch it, you will see that, here I have an example. You'll see that when we bead around it, or if you decide to bead around it, you'll see that it goes more evenly together. Let me just zoom in on that. You see how that goes evenly on there, very nice and crisp, like, versus if you do it on a sewing machine and you have it really tight zigzagged together, it would make it a little harder to bead around it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Oh, I just said yes.
Now, if you do decide to do the sewing machine, what you can do is, you know how it kind of, if you're going to zigzag it together like this, you can bead right here where it kind of ends. It's totally up to you. Me personally, I prefer to hand stitch it just so if I decide to bead around it, which this one is for my niece, so I am going to be kind of extra with hers, it does give you that clean, easy cut. Does that make sense? Okay. So does anybody have any other questions or comments? And then sometimes you may find, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Since we use the fusible to tack it down completely? Is there any reason not to do, put the beads down while you're stitching it down all at once?
Oh no, you can do that. You can definitely do that. I don't know everybody's like where they're at as far as like sewing and regalia making and things like that. So I was just trying to like teach the class where, you know, I would do it step by step. Let me see. Where I was doing it, you know, step by step. If you can do that and you want to do that, you are more than welcome to do that. That would be totes awesome.
Okay, just wondering if there was a reason not to.
Oh no, this is your amazing artwork. You can create as much as you want. So one of the lovely students came in and she showed me this amazing trick. Instead of, she is just a really cute vest. I really liked it. She had it to where she had sewn the tops, so she had sewn the top pieces together, but left the sides open, like these sides open. And she left it to where she could tie it. You could tie it. And I'm like, that is a brilliant idea, because sometimes children get hot, children get, you know, or you like have to wear it over their raincoats or jackets or sweaters, and sometimes it's just poofy. So yeah, like one thing I love about creating regalia is sometimes you have to adapt to fabrics and certain other ideas and kind of think outside the box. That is what I totally love about regalia making. Does anybody else have that? Where you kind of like, oh, that sounds like a really good idea. You should totally do that. Yeah, that was a game changer right there. So I might just do my daughter's vest like that. I was like learning new things like that and new knickknacks and fun tricks. So again, we're just kind of repeating this process, seeing how we can tack down these seaweed designs. And then from there, once you get more comfortable with, after you're done tacking this, then that's when we tackle on this big boy, your back. So you're gonna, when you're done with your seaweeds, then we're gonna tack this down. Now, you may be wondering, why would we not just put this all together, sew it all together, and tack it down then? I find, I find when I'm sewing things down, and let's say this is all stitched together, it's harder for me because sometimes, and I've done this before, where I had sewn the lining in, sewn everything in. So let's just throw it out there. Let's say this is all sewn together, right? So you have your lining. You have your lining, but you haven't stitched this puppy down, right? Well, now you already have these three, all of the 4 pieces attached. And now you're gonna have to like go through here, and you're gonna have to stitch, kind of go in there blindly. And sometimes you can stitch onto your lining. I don't know about you guys, but I like to make things as simple and as quick and as efficient as possible. So that's why, you know, first thing we're gonna do is kind of sew these down, get comfortable with our stitching. And then I'll show you, if you guys wanted me to show you how to like outline it in beads. Second part, tackle your yesh or your chalk, and then the same thing. We're gonna bead around here. If you want to, if not, that's okay too. Once you stitch this down, and you wanna put your eyeball in, So we're gonna grab our, I gave you guys 4 abalone buttons. So look at that, we can put like 1, 2, 3, and then 4. You can do it any way you want. You can just keep these, you can just do none, you can just do the eyeball. I also came up with some really fun ideas where if I do this, then I can make it where I can hang some little beads from the buttonholes while sewing it on there. So like I said, it's totally up to you, but showing you the steps that I would do. Is there any other questions or comments, concerns, ideas? Oh, shuckaroos. So like I said, you don't have to worry about the back stitching. It is, you know, it's not, nobody's gonna see it. But for me, I just don't like those little crazy wonky loop-de-loop things. And if you find that you're that way too, that's okay too. So I don't know if you guys just saw. So I had a little wonk, pulled it through. Now I'm just gently pulling these through, and we're done. Now we're back to looking normal. Again, same process. And I don't know about you ladies, but when I hand stitch, I always am like uber excited about how it even looks in the back. Because to me, I'm like, this is hand stitched with love. Not saying that, you know, people who do it on sewing machines are like any less or anything. But for me personally, and for me, it's kind of relaxing and soothing to hand stitch. A sewing machine too. If you can do it on a sewing machine, like I said, you are totally a wizard. And one day I want to learn how to like do that one of these days. But that day is not today. Happy Friday, ladies. Who's excited for Friday? Because I am. Let me tell you what I'm going to do tonight. You know what I'm going to do tonight? One, may have my kids spend the night at their cousins so I can have that alone time to sew. Because mama's got a robe to do. Yes, you heard me right, ladies. Part of my artist in residency is I'm going to be making my 10-year-old, who's like a baby giraffe because she's so stinking tall, a robe. Now, the crummy thing about that is I miscalculated her measurements, so I didn't have enough material. However, because our ancestors were super ingenuity, they were like, they worked with what they had. There's a robe here at the Sheldon Jackson Museum. that had buttons, but they were different buttons. And it, altogether, the robe just looks amazing. It looks totally amazing, and I'm just in love with that. So I have enough red material. I may or may not have enough black material, but that's okay because I have other material because I brought my giant blue tote that looks like I moved into somebody's house, but it's just all my material. Oops.
Hey Pam, so when we're hand stitching, do we double our thread or is it just like a single?
It's up to you. Like for me personally, I double thread mine
Okay.
because it adds more sturdiness to make sure it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah. Okay.
So did anybody get pretty far on their seaweed designs?
Actually, yes. So when we were doing it, we had heard that you could use a sewing machine and that it would be okay to do the sewing machine for the front and the hand stitching for the back.
Mhm.
So Ashlyn and I both ended up using the sewing machine, which was a lot of fun. And she even mentioned she might take the sewing machine to her room.
She has another.
Yeah, but it
Yeah,
was
I applique stitched both my front and back. So I am done with
Okay.
both of my raven and my seaweeds. I actually just finished the raven just now. I was working on that while we were finishing up here. Yeah, I watched some YouTube videos and I read the instructions and I figured out how to applique stitch.
YouTube is amazing.
Totes. I love that. Okay, so does anybody feel opposed to me kind of showing you how I would outline this as the seaweed design in beads? Can I get a yay, nay? Is that okay for me to do, ladies?
Yeah.
Okay, I have one yay. Okay. So let me just finish this last few little stitches. I'm gonna at least get to this little corner and then I'll come back to this a little bit later. I like that. Ingenuity. There we go. One more stitch. One more stitch. Oh, bless you. Happy Friday, folks.
Yes.
Happy Friday. Okay.
School tomorrow.
Yes. Okay. So, as you can see, I got to this corner, right? And I got to this corner. I only have like this much more to go. So, but because some students are mainly done with their seaweed patterns, and so one of you had already finished your backing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tie this off or put this off to the side, and then I will get my beads and show you how to outline your seaweed. So then it's this process we do on the seaweed is gonna be the same process you do on your raven or your eagle. Okay. So, because everybody, if you have your own beads, that's great. I'm making this for a little girl, my niece Mackenzie. I'm going to make hers kind of girly and kind of traditional, but girly. So I might, I'm going to be doing some like pink and purple. This is also one of my favorite parts is laying out the beads and kind of seeing what I'm working with. So I have some shiny purple and some shiny pink. Let's see.
I might need to get one more for the beads.
Okay. So, let's see. So here, I think I picked out my three predominant colors I'm going to be using for the seaweed. Now, if you have a raven and you just want to do black around your raven, that's fine. If you want to do an eagle, let's see, for an eagle, I am going to, let's see. So obviously eagles have a yellow beak. So I'm going to be doing some yellow like this. And you'll see as you get it, you know, it's gonna look like that. Now, because eagles also have white heads, you'll see that I'm going to also do some white. Now where my beak stops, so where my beak right here is gonna stop, my white is going to start. Now, it's kind of easier said than done, but it'll look way better when we have it together. Okay, so I have our three colors, right? Now this is the fun part. We're just gonna map them out. So where are we gonna put them? So might just do okay, I know what I'm gonna do. Okay. So you know, I really hate being the cameraman sometimes. Let me see. This is really difficult. I'm just gonna wait. Okay. Let's see. Where are we going here? There we go. Goodness gracious, I am not meant to be a cameraman. See? Okay. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna break our strand, right? And I don't know about you guys, but if you can see, this material is like felty. Just it kind of helps me stabilize my beads. I'm gonna get my beading needles. Then I'm gonna get my thread, which, where is my thread?
So when we bead, are we gonna bead directly on the felt part of it or on the black part?
We're gonna bead directly on the black part.
Okay.
Because how it's gonna look is it's gonna just literally outline it. That's all we're doing. So it's gonna look like that.
Okay.
If you want to, you can bead directly on there. It's your preference.
And the fabric, like we don't need to put down any kind of stabilizer or anything to add a little bit of weight to it. Like the beads won't be that heavy.
No, the beads won't be.
Okay.
Where am I? Kesha. There you are. So I couldn't find my black thread. So got my wax, I got my beading thread, and I am going to wax this little guy up because I like to make mine where I feel like the wax helps it not be so kinky. See, kinked up, I should say. You see how like before I waxed it, gosh, this camera, okay. You see how how it's all like wonky. Now that I put it through the wax, it's all straight and pretty. I'm gonna redo that again. Just wax it. Keep waxing, especially the ends, because waxing the ends so the needle can go through cleanly is like the best feeling in the world, where you don't have to fight with it. So then I'm gonna thread, take your needles. Oh, for Pete's sakes. Let's see. I'm having some beading technical difficulties. Thank you for being so patient. Got it. Best feeling in the world when you finally get that beading needle through. Okay. So you'll see sometimes your wax is gonna come off, and that's okay. Just kind of wipe it off. Some say I might have waxed it a little bit too much. I always say it's always better to wax it and have it a little bit stronger than to have it not waxed enough and then kind of be flimsy. Not about that flimsy work. No, everybody ties off their beading needles differently, and this is just how I do mine. So again, every beater is different. I believe there's no right or wrong way. It just kind of depends on what your preference is. So what I'm gonna do is how about we start from over here. And when I'm beading, I will pick up about 8 beads. One, 2, 3, 4. Let me do 1, 2, 3. I'm just gonna grab one more. 4. So there's 4. And we're gonna go right here. I'm gonna pull it through. And then we're gonna do, this is how I do my beadwork. I don't know if you can see. I really don't like this camera. No. So I'm gonna zoom. I don't know if you guys can see it, so I'll repeat this process because I am not the best cameraman. Ah. So that is how it's going to look. But we're going to do it again. We're going to repeat the process. Jeez, holy cats. Okay. So if you can see, when I'm beading around here, when I put the beads on there, I don't scrunch them tight. I make them so they're kind of a little loose in the beginning. If you can look and see right here, they kind of move. They'll tighten up when you tack them down. So yeah, that's kind of my 2 cents. So I do 8. I put on 8.
Okay, so tack down 8 at a time.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when you tack them, especially around corners, because it's kind of like, you know, there's a lot of dull corners. I sometimes break it down to 4. Like when we get to here, I might break it down to 4 just so I can tack it. It makes it a little bit more easier. Okay, I gotta take off my glasses for this. So there's that. And then we go over here where I left off. So then I was talking about this corner right here. See how we have to make it, the beads go like this and then flow back down. So when I find myself on a corner like that, I'm gonna do 4 beads. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. Oh, almost 5. My dyslexic bahookie. Always make sure to count, especially if you struggle with numbers like I do. And you're gonna have 4. So you see, when you have 4, you're not gonna push your buttons, like scrunch them hard together. You're just gonna lightly kind of keep them in place, tack them down, push them through. So step 1, and I'll go like this. And now since there's 2, I like to just go through. Go down. And you'll see it comes right smack dab in the middle. And then you're gonna come up 2 on the other side. Turn. Push this down. Go through those beads. And then So it kind of curves nicely. That's what we're looking for. And now you can go back to 8. And you see how it curves in there just about right. Is there any questions or comments, concerns?
Do we do a couple colors for this, or do we just do one color?
It's totally up to you. I like to do a couple different colors just because seaweed patterns is kind of what you're supposed to do. But like I said, this is your creation. If you want to just do one color because it's just easier, that's okay too.
What are the like suggested colors that are generally used?
I generally leave it up to whoever I'm making it for. So, for example, like my niece Mackenzie, she's girly girl. So when I do colors, I kind of do like pink and purple. What I've seen in the archives and what I've been told is that seaweed patterns kind of represent the 4 seasons. So you would kind of pick a color to represent each season. But because this is for a child, I like to go off of what the kids want or kind of what their favorite color is. What you can do is if you just want to do one color, that's totally fine. If you just want to do 2 and not have to do 3, because 3 is kind of bougie for this, and bougie means like totes pants, what you can do is you can do 1/2 one solid color and the other half a different color. So does that kind of make sense? So kind of come down the middle, kind of eyeball it down the middle, and then have one solid color or 2 colors, 3 colors. It's totally up to you. Any other questions? So when I picked, my daughters actually picked this out, and these kind of fun colors out because we live in Anchorage. There's a bead store, so we went to the bead store and we were able to. I kind of let them pick out their own of what they wanted on their regalia. And each of them picked out one color, and so I am kind of putting that on Mackenzie's, the colors they picked out, because I think they're all cousins and they're starting to get close. So as you can see, this is a deep shiny blue that I like, and it's for. This one is supposed to, this color represents my daughter, Laura, because her name is Laura Irene Ocean. Because when I was pregnant with her, I had a dream about the ocean. So she just kind of that just kind of stuck with me was Laura Irene Ocean. So we have this oceany color, and my daughter Kamora, she's very kind of girly too. So she picked up this like shiny pink, and then my other daughter, Zoe, she's kind of purpley, mellowy. And then my wild child, my Taya, my second oldest, she picked out this color. So I like to, either represent the seasons. If it was for like an adult, like if it was for my grandma, then yeah, I'd be traditional and stick with like different colors to represent different seasons. But like I said, because it's for kids, we're gonna kind of play with it, get a little creative. How many of you bead with 2 needles? Does anybody bead with 2 needles?
I do.
Oh, I don't know. I could never bring myself to, I tried to do the 2 needles before, and I found that I kept getting knotted up and confused, and I think I was just frazzled at the time. So the 2 needle didn't work for me. But kudos to you, Mary. God, I'm gonna get that good. I could use 2 needles. Oops. 1 bead hopped away.
I'm gonna give you a choice to pick something out in a second.
Oops. Girl, bye. Okay, I see you. And I do talk to my artwork sometimes. I promise I'm not losing my marbles. I promise I'm completely sane. Again, I have my 8 And I'm just laying them down. Good, good, good. You know, this would have been a very good day for context. Shucks. So, oh, I hate when that happens. it is. Should have wore contacts today. Didn't think you guys were going to be so quick. I should have known better. That's what. Oh wait, we're coming to a corner, so I'm like this forward right now. Oops. No.
Dave Miller?
Oh! Oh. You simply have a problem. And we fixed it. Whew. Okay, ladies, I'm gonna take like are we okay for a 5-minute break? Give your hands a rest, stretch your phalanges, stretch your bodies. How are we feeling? Okay. Hello, ladies. Chocolate. I should totally have one. Okay, ladies, I have a confession. I just broke my cardinal rule. You know what I'm having? I'm having chocolate. With my artwork, sue me. It's Friday, folks. Live a little. Mm. Mm. Okay, so let's rotate this. Yes. Okay. Okay. So since we all are beating around and you ladies have any questions or comments, concerns, we can. I'm just gonna finish up my little last of my seaweed, and then I'll finish up the beading, and then we'll see where we'll take it from there. So I'm just going to switch it back to my regular hand stitching. Oops, I like that this whole time. Oh, chaperoons. Okay, so my seaweed design is officially tacked down. Hoorah! Okay. So I don't think I'm really digging this color on here. I'm kind of digging this like shiny red that I might just use on here. I might use this shiny turquoise. I seem to have. Where's my black thread? Right there. Oh no. Okay. Yeah, I think I like these two colors better. So I think I'm gonna take out this shiny blue. Well, ladies and gents, oh God, I'm rolling up my lips here. Okay, so we'll see you guys tomorrow. Same time, same place. I look forward to seeing everybody's pieces of wonderful artwork, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you.